Hello, welcome back to Creepy and Kooky. I am Lauren-Blair Donovan here today with Brian O'Hara.
Hi.
And we got Lady Grimaldi as always. And today we are at Valley Oaks Memorial Park in Westlake, California, Los Angeles area. And we've been driving around on this beautiful morning. It's a heat wave, so we're here a little earlier than I usually like to do these videos, but it's gonna be very hot.
It's the earliest I've ever been at a cemetery in my life.
Actually, probably me too. Probably me too. Because even most funerals are they might be 10 a.m., but the interment's not till like 12.
Yeah.
So that was another thing that did cross my mind because I've done this a lot. Sometimes there's, funerals happening when you're trying to film.
Sure.
And you feel like the
gall
biggest jerk.
of these people.
How dare they use the cemetery for its intended purposes
God.
when I have YouTube videos to make?
Yeah, seriously annoying.
Yeah,
no,
but like obviously they take precedence, and there's been a few times where we cannot film near a grave, like Jimmy Stewart at Forest Lawn, for instance, had like a funeral going on near him. So we're like, maybe not today. Maybe not today. So early enough, I don't think we're going to run into that problem.
I hope not. It's really quiet and nice here now. We're not here to disrespect anybody's grave.
Never.
It's really cool to check out. Yeah.
It's very pretty. Like, we're driving around. I'm like, oh, this is medium-sized and doable. I thought it was a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of tears going on.
It's very pretty.
It's really nice.
This is easily one of my favorites, and we already think we know where some of the interments are, so.
And if you can remember the name of this place again.
Valley Oaks Memorial.
You got it.
I had to look it up.
Memorial Cemetery.
If you've been watching this show for a while, you know my memory is not a beautiful thing. And I mix up information and names specifically all the time. And I was about to do our intro, and I was like, hi, welcome to... I need to look up where we're at, because I thought it was Westlake Cemetery, because I think that's what it was in my notes, because I think it does have a few names it goes by, so it's...
And it's not Westlake, it's... Yeah, I forget.
Oh.
Valley Oaks.
Valley Oaks, in Westlake. It's very confusing, so... but yeah, we're going to find some fun people and hopefully have a good day.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with a famous internment coming up. Bye.
Now, Blair, would you ever want your final resting place to be like one of these? Like, would you be a ghillie land?
You know what? Maybe. I would never be able to afford it unless my life changes drastically. But I like the idea of family togetherness. Not that I have much in the way of family either. I think it's an escapism fantasy where I'm like, yeah, I want a lot of people, my family surrounded by me, but that's not going to happen for a myriad of reasons, and I'm not going to have money to afford it, so I like the idea of it. Is it pragmatic? No. But what about you? Same question.
I wouldn't want that. That seems, one, really expensive, and two, fancy. If anybody knows me, that seems like a lot of upkeep, and that would inconvenience so much people that have to do all this.
I was going to say, you don't have to do the upkeep.
Yeah, but just me, my soul knowing people had to do work for my not that I'm insulting these. Oh man, now I'm really in it.
You're going to get haunted tonight.
Yeah, seriously. No, I don't think, these people are important. I just want my little ashes maybe by a tree, something small like that.
Yeah.
Ghillie land would be great, but I don't think it's happening.
Yeah.
I wish I could go inside.
Yeah, but even if they didn't upkeep it, though, it could get very spooky. Have you ever seen the old ones that are not upkept? They're they got crazy spider webs and
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't like spiders though.
No.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I wouldn't be near that shit.
Brian and I have universal passes, and it's our whole personality and friendship. And he hates the Harry Potter part of the ride where there's big spiders everywhere.
That's right.
So I found out he was afraid of spiders.
I haven't opened my eyes once yet during that part of the ride, and I don't care who knows. I'll never see those spiders. I can hear them. That's enough. That's enough.
No exposure therapy for this man.
No.
None.
Kidding me?
Here we are at Karen Carpenter's grave. She has a family mausoleum. I think it's cool. Pretty easy to find too, all things considered. It's all a reflection, so I can't even peer in with the camera. So Karen Carpenter, do you have any relations to her?
I know she did that song, Why Do Birds Suddenly Appear?
Yes.
And it's really, I don't know if it's, I guess I would always associate that song with like slow motion TV running of like a girl coming into class and the guy like freezing and why do, like that song starting. That's like the universal song of like my wife has appeared stuff. And that's Karen Carpenter. I think that's pretty badass.
Yeah, I was listening to some of her stuff yesterday because my association to her is mostly through Sonic Youth because they have like a weird obsession with her. They wrote a song about her passing, Tunic, a song for Karen. I love it so much. But also, they did a cover of the Carpenter song, like, Don't You Remember You Told Me You Loved Me Again, Baby? Like, that song they did on their, like,
Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
No. That's Elton John and Kiki D. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby?
Oh, yeah, that's a
They did a cover of that. So that's my main relationship to the Carpenters, but I listened to some of her stuff yesterday, and like I always considered it to be more like sleepy, soft rock kind of jams, right? Which is not always my thing sometimes. No, I was quite enjoying it. I think I'm getting old, but I was quite enjoying it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was telling you the last time we hung out, I'm really into Julie London now, which is like an old standard singer and stuff. And I mean, like, so I think I'm just
just going
middle-aged
back to the 30s,
parents. Yeah, I'm just an old soul now, I guess, and old. But she had a really beautiful voice.
Yeah, she has an awesome voice. And now I'm like getting out there now, but John Carpenter, this is in the same family as the director, right? I have no idea.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Hollywood, so you don't know. Maybe. But also Carpenter's a pretty famous last name.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can't get really good footage because it's all reflecty.
Yeah.
I even tried to zoom in with the camera. We had trouble even seeing her. Like we were peered in like little starving orphans looking in a like a store.
It felt
stuff
strange.
We can't have.
People don't think we're
creepy.
Yeah. but we are.
We were like we couldn't. There's only like a couple slots that are taken. Like this wall is all empty.
Yeah.
And then this wall is not. And
it's weird to see they're like waiting for more members.
It's funny, at Hillside Cemetery, which is one of the last videos that will be out by the time this is out, there's a whole new section and there's only one internment.
Ooh.
And I'm like, he's the first to the party. He's a pioneer.
Yeah.
But we eventually saw her. It took a minute. But there's like a Mickey Mouse in there too. I think someone was in there kind of recently.
Yeah, there's a tiny Mickey Mouse little plush doll. Yeah. But Karen is up on the right. I don't know if it's
up on the top, right?
Yeah, top right. I don't know if it's cremated, but I think it's
like,
some spot for a body.
Yeah, it looks like a coffin spot for sure.
So it's really cool.
But yeah, she died young and tragically, and it's a sad death in general. So, but I think Sonic Youth's song is really good about it, and the video is really good too. I don't want to get too much into it because it's about an eating disorder, but I don't know. They're my favorite band, and I think they did a really good tribute to her. So go check out a Tunic song for Karen if you haven't heard it.
Yeah, play It's not Why Do Birds Suddenly Appear. I forget
But that
the
song,
name.
the song that song is
We
named for.
just looked it up. I think it's Closer to You. Closer to you.
Beautiful.
She says, yeah, right? Yeah. Let me just check that. Yeah, that sounded all right. Yeah.
Well, this is really a lovely spot.
It really
so
is.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Hey.
The individual letters, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, that feels like a strange move.
It's like they want to be able to be found. 'Cause
Yeah.
some of them blur together. It's like, let's get
yeah,
really
this is-
white font.
Yeah, that's really
big and on
weird.
top of the building. Let's make it look like a radio station. They should just have like
Ethan wanted to
neon.
be known.
Wow, and it's it's a first and a last name.
Yeah.
That's just his. I kind of want to check it out.
Let's check it out.
Okay, this is kind of maybe my new favorite grave because, as Brian pointed out, it lights up. These are like the type of things you can find on Amazon with your initials to light up in your like kitchen or whatever, or near your drink bar. That's on top of his grave. That's incredible. And this is also very Christmassy, and I'm getting like a Halloween vibe too, and I don't know why, but for some reason I thought I saw a pumpkin, but I think it's just an orange vase. But this is kind of a cool grave.
It's, yeah. I looked at the age and I'm like, it's really sad.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Maybe like 24.
Oh yeah, that's sad.
Something really sad.
Yeah, this is sad. He was 23.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of pictures and tissue boxes back there. So I used to not show graves of people who were not famous because I've said it a million times on the story. If we haven't talked about it, I'll tell you what happened off camera. But like basically a security guard was like, don't film non-famous people. But this guy wants to be remembered. His family wants him remembered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't get something like this with light up and just the whole works. You can grieve with tissues and there's a chair.
Yeah.
Like, this is somebody that was beloved and wants to be remembered, so.
I know. It's like messed up. It's weirder in another because now I'm like, oh my God, what do I talk about? Dead parents? And
He's
I'm
an
like,
orphan
yeah.
like me.
Yeah. But it's like seeing stuff like this, it like reminds you that like, oh, you worked out the way it was supposed to. Like your parents passed and stuff.
Right.
Here's a case
Totally.
where it definitely didn't. And it's just like,
Yeah.
there are a lot of things that are bad, but it's like, God, it can always get worse. And
Losing a child is
Yeah.
supposed to be the worst thing ever. And
Yeah.
I believe it. Like, I hope to never experience that.
Yeah, I don't want to
Like,
put myself through that test.
Yeah, I believe you, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like, oh man, like that. My case is how it's supposed to happen. This is like, you know,
Totally.
Can
Totally
go
agree.
so much worse. And yeah, you're just lucky for everything you got, right?
And this is also why I like going to cemeteries, because it does put life in perspective. You
Super.
do, like, I talked to a grave worker at Holy Cross Cemetery, and he was talking about how it just keeps him grounded because, like, you see infant deaths, you see old people die, like, it's just the whole walk of life, and it just reminds you to be present. We're gonna keep that in because it's funny.
No, please don't. I'm sorry, Ethan. I feel bad.
It's okay. You're alive. People drop things.
Yeah.
He remembers.
He's got an Aquafina in there. This is full of water. I feel like we'd be together in that. It seemed like he liked Christmas, I
hydrating.
think, or at
Yeah.
least the holiday time. So I feel like we would get along there. But yeah, Ethan, so sad.
Yeah.
December 18th. My God.
Oh, right. No wonder some of the Christmas motifs. That
Yeah.
actually makes sense. So
not even a year and a half.
working on 2 years. Yeah. Well, on that note, we'll let him rest in peace. But
Yeah.
sorry for your loss, Ethan. We got Artie Shaw, and Brian's cleaning up his grave. He taught the clarinet to think, not just to sing, to explore the music it was making, to let the fingers probe and find the hidden places, the crevices of meaning and emotion. A good song has, but must be found and captured, but by some divinity or other, a melody that cannot just be played for nuances and grace notes, can't be chattered. The secret tempos and their keys can only be discovered by a mind that is listening for the soul the manuscript does not display. A.C. Green. That's a very long epitaph.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it. Song of the Soul for A.S. for Artie Shaw.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was like for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like big band stuff, so.
Yeah, me too.
Brian was saying he has a very good spot, so.
He does. Artie Shaw has a great spot underneath some shade here, obviously.
Yeah, hence we're all tree leafy right now, our shadows.
Born May 23rd, December 30th, 2004.
He lived a pretty long life.
Yeah,
wow.
94?
I don't think I ever clocked that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He made it
long.
to the 2000s. He was like a big band clarinet. Like, I was a clarinet player.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, there's already...
Can you imagine being 30 going through World War II? Like that's his age. Like,
yeah, wow.
34.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's so much.
It's another... Well, it's weird because my dad used to say that his grandmother saw the invention of like radio, television, cars becoming normalized, going to the moon. And he's like, just so much change in a generation. And I've been thinking about that with our generation. I'm like, we remember life before the internet.
Yeah.
We're the last generation.
I know.
And now we have AI. What the F?
It's not fair. They're
What?
going to be taking these lots soon.
We don't have jetpacks, but we have AI. I think the priorities are wrong.
Seriously. So screwed.
No flying cars.
No
Just
flying
stuff that
cars,
could, like,
I mean.
get smart enough to blow up the world or
Yeah.
steal our identities.
It is going to be
Priorities are bad.
2040, and flying cars are nowhere near where we thought they wanted.
George Jetson's a lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Artie Shaw saw lots of changes for sure.
For
So,
sure, Artie.
Pretty crazy.
I love big band stuff. Thanks for big band stuff.
Yeah, swing. Woo. Alright, there's a lot of noises. So you and I had an interesting conversation when I asked you to come to a cemetery, because we talked about how before your parents' passing, maybe going to a graveyard didn't seem like a grand old time, but now you're like, you have a little bit of a different take. Do you want to share with the class?
Yeah. Before driving by cemeteries, I think you project what it's going to be like to go through those things, and I think that's all you think about, really. You're like so blinded to the beauty, which is like
the point of a cemetery.
Which is now when I pass cemeteries and stuff like that, I think it's really amazing that like somebody's family wanted to preserve them in such a way that it's like they went through all of this after their death, and it's just like knowing how much you have to think about and go through. It's like to also add on this kind of piece, it's really beautiful, and it's just like it's a strange thing knowing it'll always be here until whatever the sun explodes.
Right,
but yeah, it's just it's really like beautiful in a way now to think like, yeah, it's gonna be here for as long as it can be. It's not like digging up graves in Boston from the 1600s. Like, they just stay there and build over it, or like it's just gonna be here forever.
And that's the thing, I was just gonna bring that up too, where we don't know who every Tom, Dick, and Harry was who died in the 1700s, if they weren't Paul Revere or Sam Adams or someone. But like, when you pass their grave, you're acknowledging a life existed.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't like, and I think I've said this on video, but I don't like going to cemeteries where I know people in it. That's a very emotional experience that I don't care for.
Yeah.
It's like, let's get triggered for no reason. Like,
I know. I have two poor grandparents. I'm like sad to say. I know they are in a cemetery in Boston, but I'm not like exactly sure.
We've had that talk on camera too. I don't know where my grandparents in Chicago are.
Like, I remember I had my first grandmother. It was 1992, and yeah, it was just like oh, this is weird. She's not going to be around anymore. And then, like, not quite getting it until, like, really being around the grave and understanding, like, this person goes in the ground now.
Right.
Everybody's crying. I know something's really wrong, but I'm not as upset as everybody else. And, it's just a weird...
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Probably because you were so young. And
Yeah. But, like,
that's profound, though.
their grave is somewhere I haven't been in the longest time. And yeah, I should go back. I guess this is what I'm thinking about in my head. It's like...
Yeah. But what I like, though, is,
honor
like...
your family.
When we're looking at that Ethan guy, or here, like, Eugenia, it's like... we're acknowledging that they existed and they had a life with wants and needs and hopes and dreams, and
who thought about dying, and now has died,
and it's
they're
like
okay.
The circle of life, I guess. I don't know. And I just like acknowledging the strangers because I don't get to see my dad's grave. He's on the other side of the country, my grandparents, and my mom doesn't have a grave, but you know what I mean. It's just kind of like it's like, if I'm not going to do that, maybe other people are going through the cemeteries of my family and friends I've lost, and their eyes happen to glaze upon my dad or my friend or whatever, so.
I know. It's really weird. I mean, I know where my parents are. They're in Folgers coffee jars above my sister's doorway. So, Katie, water them because they're thirsty. See, death is fun.
This is why we're friends, though. Like, we met almost a year ago, but we started hanging out this spring. And when we clocked that we were both adult orphans, and we both are East Coasters, and we have a very similar sense of humor, if I may say so.
Yeah.
And we both have Universal theme parks. It's like, oh, instant friendship. Instant friendship. Like, we're still getting to know each other, and yet I think things pop up with us, whether it's a sense of humor through, talking about death, or whether it's just weird, I know comments where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, in some ways we know more about each other than some people I've known for years.
Yeah.
And in other ways, I don't know anything about you because we're still getting there. But it's, you have to, like, be able to laugh about this stuff.
Yeah.
I felt like when my mom died 5 years ago and I returned, and maybe I've told you this in our friendship, but it felt like nobody in the improv community laughed at my dead mom jokes.
No, and you quickly realize those jokes nobody's like, even though... Yeah, because I remember slinging out a couple great ones. And I'm like, nobody's laughing at my dead parents' jokes. And
people get so uncomfortable.
Because they're like, that's fun.
Parents.
Yeah, exactly. It's like fun for you to laugh at, but like that stuff's still in my head.
And I think it's kind of like what you just said, too, about the projecting on a graveyard thing. They're projecting what they think. I think a lot of people, before you lose an immediate family member, think it's the worst case scenario, which it is, but they think it is in the trauma porn kind of way, where it's nonstop crying and you're wearing a widow veil and shit like that, and you actually do laugh a lot, because you have to release the tension, and none of these so-called professional comedians were here for it. But yet all my friends who grew up with me and saw how tragic my life was through and through, they're like so funny, like because they know they can. But I think people also are really polite out here, unlike the East Coast, and they get in their head. I mean, there's a lot of layers to it, but it was not a safe space to make dead mom jokes or orphan jokes.
I quickly
hated
that
a lot.
I was like, hey, stop making jokes about your dead mom, man, because it's making everybody uncomfortable. And so now that I've made 1,000 dead mom jokes, like, just
it's not about them, though. You know what I mean? It's like whatever. Everyone's like, let me know what you need, and everyone just thinks they need a shoulder to cry on, maybe, or just maybe laugh at the absurdity of planning a funeral. Maybe laugh at like the weird reactions people give you. Like, let me. Maybe not even make overt jokes about the deaths itself, but like about the experience. Yeah. Let me blow off steam.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird what you can learn you can handle, and
Here we are at Jack Kirby's grave.
So we're at the gravesite right now with Jack Kirby. who was huge in the comic book world, and Jack Kirby had he had a big hand in a lot of Marvel comic book covers. He had drawings of, I believe, the Avengers, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Hulk. He's like a really unbelievable artist, and a lot of the ideas that you see in the movies of what comic book characters look like and how they move, and a lot of it came from like his drawings and just little swips that Spider-Man makes and stuff like that. He just came up with.
It's so crazy because he died in 1994.
I thought it was way more recent.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Didn't the guy Stan something die?
Stan Lee. Yeah.
But I mean, like, he died before Marvel Cinematic Universe was like a thing.
It's too bad.
In the sense that it is now. Like, obviously Marvel, he helped create it, but I mean, like, it's become a bigger than life phenomenon.
Seriously.
Like, he died before being a nerd was cool.
That's so true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 94, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. People were still getting like owned for buying comics, and now it's
or collecting action figures.
And now it's the thing to do, and it's 1994. It wasn't. What was 1994? I was in the 4th grade, so I cared a lot about UMass basketball and Marcus Camby. If anybody can remember that, God love you.
Be his friend.
Yeah. They lost to Kentucky that year. It was my first experience with like a sports loss. 1994, so I was just turning 10, and it was a real basketball loss for me.
You hit the double digits and become an adult.
Yeah, UMass Minutemen. We lost to Kentucky. Marcus Camby, though. You were fantastic.
But yeah, now Jack Kirby's work is cool.
Jack Kirby's work
Not
is
that it
amazing.
ever wasn't, but society gave it the stamp of approval.
Yeah.
So I wish you could have seen that, sir.
I don't know how I got to Marcus Camby from Jack Kirby, but I'm happy I did it.
It's improv training.
I'm happy I did
A
it.
to C. It's hard being at like a murder victim's grave in general.
Yeah.
But also, this was not somebody who was as known in life. He became famous in his death.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's something about that that's a huge mindfuck to me, that like people could visit your grave
I know.
and you wouldn't have known that people would have cared like in your lifetime, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Like that's such a, to be famous in death is weird to me. My brain doesn't know what to do with that, so I almost don't know what else to say because of that, because I know. It's such a, like, he died before there was the 24-hour news cycles as we know it. The O.J. Simpson trial revolutionized that pretty much, or made it a mainstream thing. It's just, and I want to be respectful because he had a life that had nothing to do with how he died.
Yeah.
And it was cut short, tragically, for basically being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. I mean.
So, man, hope there's peace in death. That's all I can say. Like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it is just really sad just knowing, how scary and awful. And it's like, my God. But yeah.
Yeah. Like a nightmare, and just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Absolute nightmare.
Yeah, it's like there's no sugarcoating it. Yeah.
There's not a silver lining to put on this. I've had this experience a few times doing as many videos as I've done, where it's like, ooh, we're finding Judy Garland and like a Ramon, and then it's like a murder victim or a young child actor or something, and or a very tragic death, and you're like, oh, like that's not the same.
Yeah. This is definitely
thing.
the closest I've ever been to anything like this, and it's weird. Yeah. The grave is obviously visited often.
There's some accoutrements.
Yeah, you can just tell that people have just been here, and it's nice. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, if you're like the family watching, I'd be like, I don't know if I'd be mad or not, or I think I would be. And now I'm like, which makes me be like, oh, I don't even, know. It's like, oh no.
That's another thing that's come up in other videos too, because look, like when he died in 1994, the internet was also not a thing.
Yeah.
I don't think people were grave hunting the same way because it was harder to access that information.
Yeah.
And so, because like at Forest Lawn Glendale, the security guard told us that it's possible more sections got roped off because in the mausoleum, the Grand Mausoleum, because Michael Jackson's there, and even though he's not visible to the public, there's still crazy MJ fans trying to figure it out. And so the loved ones wanted their loved ones to, the alive loved ones wanted their loved ones to rest in peace.
Yeah.
So it's possible. That's why I think it's like Carol Lombard you can't see anymore, or someone like that, because she's roped off, and or Clark Gable too.
Okay.
So it's like, I personally don't obviously find it disrespectful, hence I do these videos, but I also acknowledge that like a lot of these people died before me doing a YouTube video could have been comprehensible.
Yeah.
And it's like we're living in an age where I don't think societal rules have caught up with our modern life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like if a compelling argument were to ever be presented about why it was wrong, I'm listening, but you have also headstones, and this is how most of my guests have felt. You have headstones to be remembered.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Okay, I was just gonna ask like, if you had a hot take or something.
Yeah, no, but in my head I'm like, oh, I don't know if that would. Obviously, I'm like, I'd love to never have to think about or experience
you
anything.
Be immortal.
To think about that, but it's just like, it's crazy that it's just crazy what some people experience.
Yeah,
can't imagine putting myself in that shoes.
Yeah,
it's wild, but it's a really nice spot.
Yeah, it's a nice area for sure. I like the cemetery a lot. We kind of keep saying that, but it's a really nice one.
Yeah,
so underrated one for sure. But may he rest, man. I hope he had a good life.
Yeah,
until this happened, because like
from all kinds, it seemed like he got a lot out of it. Like he was a very he was into like charity.
Oh really?
Or I think so. I don't know.
He seemed like an all-American boy. Like that's the impression I got.
Yeah.
So
some of the documentaries, the father is obviously, but it seemed like it was crazy shit.
May he rest. You did not deserve what you got.
For some reason, it was like my sister handled everything with the death. She could talk about everything. She did the eulogy. She, I think my one contribution, I think, was picking a day for the funeral and the time. I don't know if she was busy. She could absolutely do it, but whatever it was, this day, it was something I could handle, and it was like, okay, great, this is something I can take off of her plate.
Right.
As far as planning all that stuff goes, but you don't think about it until you have to do it. And I called that church, and you make that call.
Yeah.
I'd like to plan a funeral for my parents, please. Hi.
Yeah, your inner child comes out so
you
much
really get,
with
super
when
full,
the parents die. You're not whatever age you are. You're 5. And
tell me what to do, please, nice lady.
Yep. My mommy died.
Yeah, exactly.
How do I get her cremated?
Yep.
What's this process? Yeah.
Yeah, but thank God for my sibling. She handled all that, and because I couldn't handle most of it.
Well, with my brother and I. My brother just suggested, because she had literally no wishes for like afterlife plans, and I even grilled her about it years before, because I'm like, what's gonna fall on us? Like, what do you want? And she's like, I don't know. And she just really didn't care. And she lived in a different state than where we were raised. And so my brother's like, should we just get her cremated and spread her ashes later so we don't? I'm like, that's like, we'll give. I mean, then we ended up not doing a funeral, but I mean, like, I guess it was a benefit that my family is so apathetic about anything spiritual that we didn't have a need to do that. And then because my mom was literally the most flippant human I've ever met about what she wanted to have happen to her after she died, it was just like, okay, if this is going to make it easier on us, then I guess that's what we're going to do.
And that's another thing I learned quickly was as much as you wanted to do everything that they wanted after, you also had to do what is easiest for you as far as
funerals are for the living.
Yeah. And just thinking about when you go through like actual real shit of like clearing their house out and like saving stuff and not saving and like thinking about all these like,
that's what people don't think about.
And then it's like,
and you're not in a position to make those decisions either.
And so you just quickly be like, what is going to make this easier on me? And it's okay. Like everything you do during, exactly. Everything you do during that time, it's like, yep. Oh, that's how you did it. Yep. That's how you had to do it. Cool. I had to do it. I went this way. Like, and, the one thing I've learned is like, it's all right. However you handle it.
Yep.
But like, let it land. Like actually handle it. Like,
people don't get it, you know. They think it's all tears and being forlorn, but it's actually a lot of errands and paperwork and like chores, and it's exhausting because your brain is kind of hijacked by being in shock and having varying emotions at different times and not always at convenient times. It's a lot more complicated than what people think, and I think people, they often have the misgiving that like, oh, if I've lost a grandparent or an aunt or a cousin or a friend even, I know what this is like. Yeah. And it's like, no, that's a big deal. Your pain is valid. Your experience is valid. When it's your immediate family or your parents and these decisions fall on you, it's a hat on top of a hat. That's saying something. Yeah. And then your mortality gets really skewed with when we're younger, right? Yeah. And you know, we shouldn't be thinking about mortality, but there's no one ahead of us on our family tree.
Sorry.
Well, I tell everyone I'm 53 because I lie about my age in Hollywood like all girls do. I'm doing it wrong. But it's a great way I don't have to answer for my real age. So it's like, am I 30 or 39? I'll never effing tell.
I mean, we lost our parents young in our 30s. Or at least for me.
I lost my dad as a teenager.
See? Yeah. It's messed up.
But my mom was 5 years ago, so but Brian lost his parents very back to back, like 2 years ago. Yeah, mom was about 4 years ago, and dad is coming up on 2 years in a couple months, so it's pretty fresh. But it was right before my birthday. We have a lot of similar birth and death dates in our friendship also. We were in line at Jurassic World of all places, comparing.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Our siblings have the same birthday.
That's right. That was the weird. I was like, what was the weirder? And that
was the weirdest one.
They're both born on October 23rd, but a year apart.
Yeah, and then there's some similar weeks and times of years for the other stuff. So
weird.
Yeah, but
it's all happened before. It'll happen again. Oh man, now I'm getting out there.
Well, I guess this is a good spot to end this little death talk. Yeah. This is the biggest grave I've ever seen. Like, literally, I've never seen a tombstone. Like, there's been monuments that are bigger, don't get me wrong, but that's the size of, like, a bed frame.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
That's 100% a bed frame. Like, I'm impressed. Like, wow. Well, that does it for this episode of Creepy and Kooky at Valley Oaks Memorial Park.
Valley Oaks. I'm happy you remembered that.
Me too, because my memory is not great these days, thanks to long-term stress and malnutrition. But it's slowly coming back. Not always when I need it to, but in this case, I'm back, baby. So I'll take the win. How did you enjoy today?
It was really fun. It was interesting, and it's just nice to see people still cared about years after they've gone. There's thousands of people still thought about and cared about here, and it's just it's a nice thought, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah. Super cool.
Super relaxed day. We've been here for 2 hours? Maybe?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah. It's like
right around there.
About 11 a.m. This is literally the earliest. I might do this for the next couple videos if it works out with the schedule. It's like, let's just go when the gates open and get it over with. Because it is very hot and it's more peaceful besides the weed whacker that was when we were at Jack Kirby and a little bit of Ron Goldman, I think.
And they haven't set up for like the really sad funerals yet.
No, like they've set up one, but they're not here yet. They're not here. because they're probably still mourning at the church or synagogue or something. So.
Yeah, I know. Those mornings are tough.
Yeah.
The bars aren't open.
There should be more night funerals in general.
There should be.
Or like evening, like twilight. You know, like I want a twilight dusk funeral.
That's not a bad idea.
I don't want to make people get up early and like not have their caffeine or breakfast because they're rushing out the door trying to look good for death.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wouldn't even, I'd be like, just think about me. Yeah, I don't gotta go anywhere. Who wants to go places? I don't want anybody to have to go anywhere for me. Be like, no, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
I'd rather stay home. If you were dead and I was alive, I'd be like, I'm not going. I had to think about who I was in that scenario for a second, and I was the alive
It is
one.
not even noon our time, so...
Should get caffeine, probably.
Yeah, that was like the big, we were hemming and hawing about what time to go, because like for me at least, I was like, my brain's not always awake before 10 a.m. Like I'm pleasant, don't get me wrong, but I'm not always awake. But I think this is weirdly, unless I go back and edit, I think I actually was more on point in this video than I have been in the entire series. And some of that's I'm a little healthier and doing better, but it's the opposite of what I expected. So you were a great guest though. This was a lot of fun because I'm ending the series. And it's not that like nobody's ever been a bad guest, but like I'm not as into it. So it kind of started feeling like a chore because I just don't want to talk about death as much now that I'm like getting mentally healthier.
I know. And it becomes a thing where you're like, I shouldn't be here.
This shouldn't be my brand. I mean, it is. It's going to be still in certain ways, but like maybe not in this direct of a way, I guess is a better way to put it. But so I've been a little phoned in, I think the past like 5. And I didn't even know I was ending the series for 2 or 3 of those. So, but this was fun.
Yeah, this was fun.
Was a lot
Thank
of
you
fun.
so much.
So, yeah, thank you. I'm glad you wanted to do it. And it's always fun having somebody on that has experienced immediate family loss too, because it's just a different perspective.
There's a more raw sadness in their eyes.
Exactly. That's what I go for. That's what gets the views. Clickbait. Hollywood, baby. YouTube, baby. But
showbiz.
It is what it is. We're so LA. We're so LA. Let's exploit pain.
Seriously.
But no, it always makes for just layered, nuanced conversations.
Yeah.
And it's less of a novelty and more of like, nope, this is a life fact. We know. So firsthand, got the receipts. So.
Yeah, been there, done that. Won't do it again.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm Lauren-Blair Donovan. This is Brian O'Hara. I will link up. You want to promote a new show?
Yeah. If you are interested in ghosts and stuff like that, me and my friend Matt Dan are currently investigating haunted sites and just kind of well-known ghost hauntings and stuff like that in California. But we're called the Scaredy Cats. So check us out. On YouTube and Instagram, all that stuff. The Scaredy Cats, because we're 2 very scared men. That didn't sound
appropriately. It should be Scaredy Men.
Scaredy Men. Yeah.
That joke. That was not good. So you have the correct title.
I mean,
you guys are good.
We're scared people.
Scaredy Cats work. So go watch it. I mean, because if you like cemeteries, you probably like ghosts.
Yeah.
Spooky stuff. So I'll link all that stuff
Yeah,
for
we're
you
trying
guys.
to meet them somewhere in between.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
Fun. I can't wait to see it.
It's got some,
I'm excited.
some interesting
told
stuff.
me about some of the stuff, so I'm excited. But yay, and so a couple more episodes left, and this channel will stay active for other stuff. But until then, stay alive till next time. Bye.
Bye.